What's going on, everybody? It is Tuesday night, October 10th, 2023. Yes, that was not a error on my part. It is Tuesday night. It is not our normal Wednesday night of recording because we had the rare Tuesday night Dynamite, which was branded as Title Tuesday tonight, going head to head against WWE's NXT. So a little Tuesday night war going on tonight. I don't think it'll be the last time we ever see this, but probably the last time for a little while, as both shows are brought it tonight. I will say I only tuned in for Dynamite. I know Paul and Shep tuned in a little bit for NXT for the Cody Rhodes opening segment, which we will talk about later on in the podcast. But both shows brought it in kind of different formats, wouldn't you say, Paul?
Yeah, I would say. AEW is always, when we're talking Title Tuesday, because this isn't the first time we've done Title Tuesday. We got NHL and postseason that, kind of push the date back. We always know this is going to happen around this time of year. And so Tony's kind of made a big show out of it.
Yep, it's this was because of the baseball playoffs. But TNT has hockey, which that was the main reason for the move a couple of years ago, going from TNT to TBS, was they wouldn't get preempted as much. Because if you remember when they were on TNT, they were getting preempted not only by NHL, but also NBA constantly, to where it was getting pretty annoying there for a while. So yeah, they did a good job of letting everybody know early that it was going to be a different night and everything. Collision was an hour early this past week. It's going to be an hour early this week. They're doing a good job getting the word out for those things. So as long as they promote it ahead of time, I don't see any fault in it. Of course, both shows probably will take a dip in ratings just because I think, honestly, not all, but I think there is a lot of crossover between AEW fans and WWE fans. So those who usually watch NXT on Tuesdays and Dynamite on Wednesdays probably had to pick a side tonight and DVR the other one. So it'll be interesting when we see the ratings come out. Of course, NXT loaded up their show with Cody Rhodes, John Cena, The Undertaker made an appearance, Asuka, and some others. And AEW stuck more to just some big-time matches, sticking to some storylines, a lot of in-ring work. I was surprised, though, the three of the guys that the company was founded around, no appearances. Kenny Omega and the Bucks.
Yeah, I know. It was weird to see or not see them, but as you mentioned, I watched the Cody promo over on NXT, which we'll get to later on in the podcast. But it was weird when you have such a big night like tonight and you don't have those three names on the card anywhere, not even a backstage segment.
Now, storyline purposes, they have been kind of wrote off with injuries. They even brought up Omega's tonight that he wasn't cleared to travel. That's why we didn't see him come in for the save when Chris Jericho was taking a beating from Powerhouse Hobbs. But all in all, I thought a lot of good stuff in tonight's show. And Majin here on YouTube said Title Tuesday, only 2 titles were up for grabs tonight, though. And those were 2 exciting title matches, though, I should say.
But there were 2 other titles defended on a pre-show that I didn't know existed until I opened up my notes.
The pre-show was announced today. I don't even know what time it was. And I knew Kingston was going against Suzuki, but I didn't know there was another match. Oh, was that the match you're referring to?
Yep, because it was
2
for
titles,
both the NJPW Strong Openweight and the ROH World Championship.
Yeah, it was a late edition.
Yep.
And I knew it was happening. I could have watched it because I was free around 7:30, but I decided just to wait for the normal telecast because I knew Eddie was probably going to win. So.
And you are correct, Eddie did win. I think what it's going to come down to is when Eddie only defends one of those titles, we'll know he's dropping that title. But
that's
so
probably
far,
good. Yeah.
So far, it's been both titles on the line every match he's had.
Yeah, but a lot of good stuff on Dynamite tonight. I thought we got some good build towards Full Gear, which is on November 18th, so still a little over a month away, but we're already getting a good build for that. But we don't have Shep with us right now. We do expect him to join sometime throughout the podcast. So I
Yeah,
guess
as long
I
as we
will.
don't wrap this up in 20 minutes or so.
I think we'll do a better job than that. But so I will ask the question because I am being boring tonight and just drinking water again 2 weeks in a row. I know I need to get with it. I need to get with it in time for next week. But Paul, I saw something red in your glass. So what are you drinking tonight?
Tropical Punch Kool-Aid.
That sounds pretty darn good. Gotta be honest.
The choices were tea or Kool-Aid, and we settled on Kool-Aid, so that's what we're drinking.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. I thought it was either probably Kool-Aid or Hawaiian Punch. Majin's calling me out. I know. I could go downstairs and I have some cold pops. I'll call them some adult beverages in the fridge downstairs, but I am too lazy to go downstairs right now. So
Now, I noticed, ironically, we're both wearing our Rabbit Hole KOP shirts tonight. So let's see what Shep's wearing when he joins us. But I did bring something to celebrate one of our champions tonight.
oh yeah, orange Tic Tacs.
Ironically, I wasn't even thinking about it. Popped them open and ate a couple during that match, and I went, "Oh, huh." I'll have to
It
put
works.
those on the podcast tonight.
It
Why
works perfectly. But yeah, I wore the Rabbit Hole T-shirt tonight, just assuming that we're going to go down just a couple rabbit holes here and there.
Yeah, that's kind of the same reason I'm wearing it. If it was tomorrow night, you might have had a different one on. But no, tonight I felt the Rabbit Hole one was fitting with the quote unquote Tuesday Night War.
Yes, Tuesday Night War, which, I gotta admit, I thought it was pretty exciting. All the buzz around it on social media. I know I saw a lot of the IWC. Yeah, this is tribalism, blah blah blah. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It's not something we get every week, so
I enjoyed watching because I followed along on Twitter through most of NXT.
Mhm.
I enjoyed watching it go back and forth between AEW and NXT and trending.
Yes.
So
yes. Yep.
it changed a couple different times. NXT started out with the lead though, but
Sure.
AEW caught up pretty quickly once the show started, and then it was back and forth throughout.
AEW's got a pretty strong presence on social media as far as fans are concerned. All in all, though, a good night for pro wrestling fans.
Yes. Hey, before we get any further and lose track of time, and it's no longer that day, we should do a special birthday shout out. It is Tony Khan's birthday today.
Yes, 41st birthday.
Yeah.
So happy birthday, Mr. Tony Khan.
So what's Shep done with his life?
He's doing just fine. He's just not doing Tony Khan fine.
Yeah.
Majin says apparently AEW was the first trending topic tonight. The last he checked, anyway.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. That doesn't surprise me. They do pretty good, whether it's just Dynamite or Collision or a pay-per-view or even Rampage, which is starting to pick up some momentum, which is good to see.
Yes. Although I did see a tweet that apparently the VIP suites tonight in Kansas City had NXT on the TV.
Which that's fine. I would say I haven't had the pleasure to sit in too many suites, but in my experience, if you're in the suite, you can put on whatever you want. It's your remote for the TV. So, I mean, yeah, why not put on? It would be fun to see what NXT is showing and what the AEW was showing. So yeah, it's fine.
Yep.
Anymore, you got to take the IWC with a grain of salt.
Well, see, and everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that!" Yada yada yada. I'm like, that is a true wrestling fan.
Yes,
you're there to see wrestling. You want to watch wrestling. You don't want to miss either one of them. So why not watch them at the same time?
At least you're watching something.
Exactly.
But let's dive into Dynamite tonight, shall we?
All right. Well, the show opens with Christian Cage in the production truck. He addresses both Swerve Strickland and Bryan Danielson, who will face off to determine who will face Christian on Saturday for the TNT Championship. Christian says he's going to elaborate on why he told off Copeland last week. He calls himself the face of Warner Discovery and welcomes the fans to Dynamite.
I thought it was great. Perfect villain to open up the show and give him a little more reasoning and some emphasis behind the TNT number one contenders match, because even though I loved the match And I was excited for the match going into it because Danielson and Swerve were both great. It was just kind of one of those, oh, this is getting random.
Yeah,
We didn't know either guy was even going for the TNT title, but here we are. So I was glad it kind of gave it some more backstory there.
yeah. And so we start off with the TNT Championship #1 contender match with Bryan Danielson and Swerve Strickland, who of course had Prince Nana join him. I was still over on the other channel. Did he do the dance? Did
Oh
he get
yeah,
to?
oh yeah. The
All right.
crowd was doing the dance. Man, it's so catchy. I just enjoy doing it. Where's Shep when I need him to roll his eyes in the back of his head?
Right? Because I enjoy the dance too. It's something fun. It's just simple.
He is one of the talents at AEW that, I wasn't too familiar with his previous work in ROH. Didn't care for him at first when he came on board when they acquired ROH, but now I enjoy him, and
Yep.
that's what it's all about. So
Yep. Towards the end of the match, Swerve counters a running drop kick, hits a house call, climbs to the top rope, hits a diving double stomp, and covers for a near fall. Swerve hits an alley-oop driver for a near fall. Prince Nana distracts the referee while Swerve grabs Nana's crown. Hangman Page arrives out of nowhere to stop him from using it. Danielson counters a JML driver with a roll-up for a near fall. And finally, Danielson hits a running knee strike for the pinfall, making him the new #1 contender for the AEW TNT Championship.
figured Danielson would win just because Christian's so much of a heel. I didn't think it made sense for heel versus heel, but I love how they had Danielson go over. Doesn't make Swerve look weak at all. I didn't think they could afford doing that after his big win over Hangman and Wrestle Dream. Love how they had Hangman get involved, keep that story going, and I know we'll touch base within that rivalry more as the podcast goes on tonight. But I thought it was a pay-per-view quality opener on Dynamite.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Danielson here lately. All of his matches seem like they should be on a pay-per-view. He's just gotten that good.
Yeah. Majin points out the house call. Yeah, he hit it from literally out of nowhere. It was Swerve's. I know Shep doesn't really care for him, but I think he's so damn good. I think he's good on the mic. I don't want to give my predictions away 2 months ahead of time when we do our title predictions for 2024, but I've been beefing Swerve up quite a bit. So if you see him on one of my title holding predictions for 2024, you shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. And, as long as he's not trying to do a fake laugh like he did with that promo against Hangman, he's great on the mic. Mm-hmm. Could do without the teeth, though, because he doesn't always have those in, and he seems to cut a better promo without them.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little easier for him to talk without them.
Yeah, and I think when he has them in, he wants to show them off, so he's always trying to get that smirk in and make sure they're there.
But you can tell Tony Khan's giving him that push he deserves, because even if he's losing matches, he's in big time matches anymore with the biggest of names in AEW. So he's about to really skyrocket, I think, which he deserves it with work he puts in. So.
Yeah. Up next, a video package plays with Samoa Joe saying that he will be at AEW Collision on Saturday and will show fans why he deserves to be the champion.
Yeah, no, I like this. We forgot to hit on this last week. I kind of like this mob boss Samoa Joe we're seeing.
Yes.
And
character.
Yeah, it is. And I saw some people speculating on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Twitter.
Yeah, that they are assuming with his promo that maybe has signed a contract extension, because I believe his original contract is up at sometime in 2024. So if he's going to keep being a huge part of these storylines on AEW television, maybe he has. That's just maybe wishful thinking. I don't know. But no, I like keeping him right around that title picture. I like that.
Now, let me ask you this. As you mentioned, this kind of mob boss style Samoa Joe. Do we see him build something off of this? Or do you think it just stays solo?
We have a lot of factions, so I'm kind of hesitant to want another one. But he was in the main event Mafia in TNA, and that was it had its bad moments, but that was for the most part pretty good stuff. So if done correctly, Joe could be a good mob boss leader.
maybe we see something like that and focus it more on ROH versus AEW since he is the television champion.
Well, we really all the ROH champions are big names right now, but yet I don't see much being done with them.
Again, I think it's because you got to sign up for Honor Club and, catch it on YouTube or on the Honor Club. You,
But
you don't get to just flip on your TV to channel 42 and watch it.
but how much are those guys like? Have the Hunbucks even been featured on ROH television at all since they won the Trios Championships? Not to my knowledge. And if so, please somebody correct me in the comments. But I usually read the results from ROH weekly, but I don't. Unfortunately, no, I'm bad at this. I don't tune in every week, so I usually just read the results. But I don't think I've seen them on anything.
I don't think I have either. I mean, they haven't really. They won the 6-man and then went into kind of solo directions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got Hangman, who's got the Swerve storyline going. You had Nick taking on Phoenix, and you had Matt in that 4-way match.
And then the Bucks won the future tag team title shot, which
Yes.
now we know after Collision is probably not going to be against FTR. It's probably going to be against Big Bill and Ricky Starks.
Which I am okay with because I wasn't ready for another Bucks FTR match.
Let her breathe a little bit. Let her
Yes.
breathe. We just had the third one at All In. Let her breathe a little bit.
Yep. Give us till 2024 before we see that again.
Yep. And maybe they hold off and don't have their title shot for a while, but it makes sense to have them go against Big Bill and Ricky Starks. And it might be as soon as Full Gear, to be honest.
Yeah, who knows? That's still just over a month away.
But that's what I love about tonight's show is we already know of one match, and I'm pretty sure we know of two after tonight, just how things are going. That's more than we usually get a month plus out from the pay-per-views. So
Yeah. And let's not forget the Edge or the Adam Copeland.
I know it's so hard. It's so hard.
Yeah. And the bad thing is I was just correcting Logan. I'm like, he's not Edge anymore.
I know.
And then I turned around and started calling him Edge right afterwards.
Well, when I was re-listening to last week's podcast, I slipped up 3 times and didn't even realize that why we were recording. So
yeah, it's such habit. And coming right out of that Edge quiz that we did last week made it even harder.
Right.
But it may not be in AEW, but if you think back, I think it was in like 2012, Edge and Christian teamed and did something, and Edge went off on Christian being a whiny little bitch.
Yes.
So now it kind of comes full circle with what Christian said last week.
They better not have those two touch for a long, long time.
I know.
Like months from now.
I was going to say Full Gear's the earliest they can touch, but
I don't even want
see
that.
It then.
Nope. It needs
I want
to be
him
2024 and
Yep, I want him to defend the TNT title at Full Gear and just tease each other back and forth.
Well, and since we just talked about the Danielson match, do you think he retains against Danielson Saturday at Collision?
If this was WWE, I would say yes. Because as we'll get to later in the podcast, Danielson got the upper hand on him tonight. And that normally was the sign that whoever got over at the go home show before a title match lost the match. But now with AEW, that's not always the case.
No. I could see Luchasaurus accidentally costing Christian the title.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's tough. It's tough sometimes staying in order here.
We haven't even gotten to match 2 yet.
I know.
Jericho versus Powerhouse Hobbs. This was a longer match than I expected.
Me too.
I'm looking here, and my notes say it was 7 minutes and 23 seconds.
I thought it was gonna be about 3-minute match. I thought Hobbs was squashing him.
Hobbs hit at the very end of the match. Hobbs hits another World's Strongest Slam for the pinfall.
Hey, look who it is.
Hey, he's not as far behind as he thought he was.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Shep, we're 20 minutes in, and we just now got the match 2, if that tells you anything.
What a night. Screw Tuesdays.
And we haven't even talked about the other show yet. We've
Nope.
just bid on Dynamite.
Yep.
So
Tuesdays suck.
we may be 20 minutes in, but now you asked me earlier, Tanner, so I get asked the question. Shep, what are we drinking tonight?
It's been a night. Okay.
Yep.
Not that the podcasting world gives a what, but I sold my house. I'm in the middle of moving.
Right.
So, anyways, I thought about this about 9:00 when I literally had just sit down and started watching this stuff, going, "What am I going to drink tonight?" And I mean, I had cocktails. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm normal, but like I have nothing special. So, I mean,
That's a great sound effect, by the way. I wish everybody could hear that with headphones.
Was that pretty good?
That was awesome.
Good?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to go back and pick that out, Tanner, because you and I got quiet as that
was slick. Yeah.
Needs to be in the open.
Oh.
Anyways, that's all I got tonight is the go-to. I'm still waiting on free merch and sponsorship, but anyways, that's all I got to drink tonight. I know it's kind of disappointing. No
it's
128
Tuesday.
proof moonshine tonight because that was a dumb idea. Whose idea ever that was? Oh, yeah, it's mine. But no, just back to the normal tonight. Actually thought about breaking out some red wine tonight, but I'm like, nah, that doesn't fit. You know why it doesn't fit? Because I can't drink it fast.
That's true.
I love to drink fast. Now, I love red wine, but you just can't drink it as fast as vodka.
It's very true.
Maybe that sounds like a problem.
Nah, we don't judge here.
Screw it. Who gives a shit?
We're all having a good time here. Yes, Majin, that's exactly what I was going to say. After night, he doesn't want to hear anybody say Jericho doesn't put people over. That's all Jericho's done in 2023. Put younger talent over, but the only thing I was surprised about was the length of the match. Like Paul said, it went 7+ minutes. I thought it'd be a 3-minute match. I thought Hobbs would absolutely squash him, which he did majority of it anyways, but...
Yeah,
he made Hobbs look like a monster.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
And as they should be. They need to use them.
Let me ask you guys this: is this finally a faction Hobbs can get over with?
God, I hope so.
Yeah, I mean he's got to. If not, you got to just stop trying to put the kid in factions.
Because obviously the QT TV thing, that was awful. That might have been his worst one yet.
Team Taz had its moments, but
yeah.
At least Team Taz had Taz and Ricky Starks, but
Lodge says, so it's Title Tuesday tonight, NXT tonight. Shep sold his house, and it's the start of the NHL season. Pour one out for Marty McSorley.
Yes, Marty McSorley. Oh, I got bad news, by the way, Majin. I got bad news. The hockey golf trip got postponed for another. Did I already say that once?
No, you didn't.
No,
because I have a bad memory, guys. But the week before Thanksgiving is the hockey golf trip for
Coyotes, right? Phoenix
Coyotes. And we have a conflict this year with Canadians. I'll call them the Canadians, even though that's the only reason I got invited. It's because of 4 Canadians and then me, the Indiana guy that has no hockey experience. I can swing a golf club. That's about it.
Can you skate?
No. You got a better shot of me throwing a 90-mile-an-hour fastball than cutting up some ice. And last time I checked at a carny when I was like 35, I think I hit like maybe 60 on the mile-an-hour gun.
Oh, God, even trying to hit 60, I think I'd throw my arm out right now.
Well, I think I had to Ben Gay the elbow later that
yeah,
night.
God.
If that tells you anything.
Oh.
IO freeze. But yeah, no, I'm hoping Marty comes back in 2024 because the golf trip got postponed with some conflicts. Something about these Canadian guys buying more dealerships and they can't be there. What a bunch of wimps. So golf trip postponed to 2024. So Marty, you got one more year before you got to start partying with Shep.
Majin says, "Don't worry, Shep. There's a few people in the NHL who can barely skate.
Yeah, you know.
They might be able to hit a fast slap shot, though."
Yeah, I mean, if we could get some like training wheels on ice skates, maybe I
I can't skate either, so I'm not one to
no.
talk. I've tried and I bruised myself so much, falling. Yeah, I just can't do it.
So yeah, obviously the last week of October, as long as the internet gets transferred over, we will have a new background because
Beautiful.
Ooh.
I haven't figured out where the hell I'm going to do this at, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be out in the barn. So
Okay.
we'll figure it out. But yeah, new
Beautiful.
background coming last week of October.
Last week of October. It's coming up quick.
Boom.
Coming up quick. Before we move on, Paul, we should ask Shep what he thought about the opener tonight between Danielson and Swerve.
Oh yeah. Since we're only 2 matches in, we got time.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was really well done. The more I hate him, the more he goes better with the storyline. But I hate Prince Nana. I think I've said that before. He's annoying. Yeah, exactly. But the more, like I said, the more he goes over.
Yeah.
I thought the finish of this match was well done. It did not hurt Swerve. And when I say that, because I think Swerve is on a up tick, right? Now, I was going to say a rocket ship, but not really. But he's definitely on his way up to one of the top echelon performers.
Mm-hmm.
So the way they did the finish, it did not hurt him, and it made Danielson obviously continue his momentum. So I thought it was very, very well done from that aspect.
Yep. That's pretty much what we said too. So pretty much spot on.
Well, I mean, you guys are smart like me.
We try.
Ish.
Majin wonders if Swerve's growing on you yet, Shep.
In-ring performer, yes. Obviously, you cannot take that away from the guy. I still not a big fan of his promos. His promos are like dark hood.
They are dark. They are dark.
It's like a dark blood or crip. Like 90s gangster rap, and then you got Swerve.
You just broke Paul there.
Oh man.
I mean, if he comes out with a blue or red handkerchief coming out of his back pocket, I'm not shocked. And maybe that's just showing my age, because Tanner, you were a young little tyke then when that rap came out. But yeah, he can. Don't get me wrong. I think he could be one of the top 5 stars in this company in the next 5 years. But if he's going to work on anything, it's his outer ring work.
Fair.
Before we head to the next video package, Shep, if you caught the Samoa Joe segment, what did you think of it?
Oh, I love the new Samoa Joe.
Mob boss.
I love the suit, the cigar, the old fashioned sitting next to him on the table. If we get one more run out of Samoa Joe, which I think we can get, okay, I would love this type of run out of Samoa Joe. The cigar, the whiskey, or I'm sorry, the bourbon. If you're having an old fashioned, sorry, don't want to piss off any whiskey or bourbon drinkers. This character fits him to a T. Looked like he was in a fancy house in Miami or something, right? So
now, Paul, ask him the question you asked me.
I was just going to after he finished, and I took my drink there. With seeing this kind of what reminds you of a mob boss style Samoa Joe, Could we see him build another small faction around this mob mafia style? Thinking back to main event mafia as well, as Tanner brought up.
Yes, but I hope not. And here's why I say I hope not. Because I think AEW/ROH is faction heavy. I think everybody's in a faction. You know, not that he couldn't pull it off, but I don't know if I want to see another faction.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
We got a lot of them.
I'm right
but
there
you're
with
not
you.
cool if you're not in a faction.
I think I'd rather be not cool in catering than some factions that are out there.
Cody's doing okay not in a faction.
It's true. Yeet.
Oh, God. Obviously, we haven't talked. You guys haven't talked about that yet. We'll talk about that later.
Bob just said, wait till next week. Even we'll be in a faction.
I mean, we kind of are already.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. All right. So up next, we head to Roddy's house where Roddy makes the injured Cole cut his grass. Roddy and the Kingdom nitpick the work that the hobbled Cole does. Cole is forced to wear a neck strong shirt. Cole learns about the giraffe that Roderick is taking neck strong inspiration from. Cole thinks it's weird that Strong has no internet or TV. Strong calls the TV the devil. Cole leaves to go get surgery, but Strong says he needs one more thing, and it cuts to black.
I thought this was better than last week's, but still, it's not really for me. Now, later on in the show, which we'll get to with MJF and Cole, that part I'm good with, but this stuff's not really for me. Roderick Strong saying the TV's for the devil just remind me of Waterboy.
I did appreciate finally explaining the giraffe.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I did.
What's the giraffe's name again?
Rick, wasn't it?
Rick.
Yeah.
Rick, or it was something close to Roderick.
They fight with their strong necks. It's great.
At least Taven speaks. Bennett doesn't even ever speak. He just sits there.
Shep, you gonna pull a Taven and demonstrate how the giraffes fight?
No. No. I liked the segment was okay. Now, if they're trying to duplicate the segments with MJF and Adam Cole, they ain't gonna do it because those two were absolute. They weren't gold; they were platinum. Those segments were platinum. These segments are like silver, borderline down to bronze.
Well, and how long can they keep this going? If Cole's really set to have 2 surgeries, he's gonna be out a while.
You know what? I am not a conspiracy theory guy when it comes to politics, this real world that somehow we all get lucky to live in. So when it comes to professional wrestling, I'm telling you right now, boys, he has a high ankle sprain and they're milking it. That's my call. You can call me out if he's out for the next 6 months, but I watched that spot over when he jumps off that ramp and he tweaks the ankle, but I don't see how the thing can break in 2 or 3 different spots where he's got to have multiple surgeries. I'm saying right now he's a high ankle sprain. They're going to milk this. I think he's the devil under the mask, which we haven't seen in 2 weeks. I don't understand.
Just a brief mention tonight. Very brief.
Very brief.
But
we haven't seen.
Cole's not been there for 2 weeks. He's been at Roderick's house.
Yeah, okay. There you go. Valid point, Paul. You're just making my point even better.
Oh, I know.
Again, I think it's a high ankle sprain. I think he tweaked it. He's going to be out for 3-4 weeks, and they're going to do these silly vignettes and keep on going.
Because if you think back to the first time we saw the devil, he didn't move. He just turned his upper body and put his hand up to the camera. That was it. So if it's a high ankle sprain, you don't need to, you could have your knee up on something and then just turn so that you're not even putting any weight on it.
Well, he was having his goons do the dirty work anyways. He was just standing there.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. All right. Up next is the AEW International Championship match where Rey Fenix defends against Orange Cassidy. Towards the end of the match, Phoenix counters the Orange Punch with a super kick. Cassidy takes advantage of a slip up, hits a beach break for a near fall. Cassidy finally hits the Orange Punch. Cassidy uses a mousetrap pin for the win and is your new international champion.
I kind of saw this coming.
When they announced that Mox still wasn't cleared, I went, all right. And then they said it was the rematch with Orange. I went, all right.
This title's interesting because it has not gone according to plan last month. There's been so many injuries and change of plans. Yeah, little curse there, which he should be coming back anytime now. I mean, Mox got hurt. He wasn't supposed to lose it to Phoenix, so Phoenix had it. Then I'm assuming Mox was supposed to regain it tonight, but instead they swerve and put it on Orange. So now my question is, when Mox is healthy and ready to go, will they have a rematch between Mox and Orange? And will Mox take it back, or will Orange now have another long run? I don't know. It's keeping me guessing, but fun match tonight. I like the story they told. Phoenix is back. Was giving him problems to where Orange was beat up, but he was still in better shape than Phoenix. Phoenix couldn't hit the normal moves he was hitting, but the moves he was hitting, even with a injured back, pretty impressive. So Orange picks up the win, and then we see the best friends and Hook there to congratulate him, and Rocky there to congratulate him. So
yeah. I didn't fully catch. It's like a year exactly since he won that title, isn't it?
Yep, they showed the highlights. It was I think that October 12th, I think, last year. So yeah.
Okay, so yeah, right about a year.
Yep. He beat Pac. So I thought he and Penta were going to get into it after the match. Penta kind of stood up and stared at him, which I'm thinking, we don't need Penta to go after another singles title and lose yet again for the trillionth time. But
Nope. So after the celebration, we head backstage to RJ City interviewing timeless Toni Storm. Toni Storm introduces her silent film Lover's Lament, which plays through the picture-in-picture.
Which was smart for them to do that numerous times for the picture-in-picture.
And kind of made me chuckle because I text you. I text both of you, but I didn't realize Shep wasn't watching at that point in time, and said, "Is Toni Storm new send to picture person or send to commercial person?"
You could do worse.
You could do a lot worse.
All of her matches, when it's time to go to a commercial break, she's the one announcing it.
Yeah, this character's great. She's found something with this.
Now, I want to say this in the most positive manner. The women's division is lacking in AEW.
Oh, it is. For the, in my opinion, the depth they have, it's lacking.
Well, and we'll get into the match tonight, but I think Tony's one of the bright stars going for the women's division. Just because obviously her outer ring work is good and her in-ring work is even better. And we'll get into it later, but I thought the match tonight we saw was sloppy.
Lackluster.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe it wasn't sloppy. There was one bad spot I disliked, but it just didn't do much. With Toni in the ring, I don't know. I like her in the ring. I think she's hard hitting. She's athletic. She sells good. She does spots that are good. And hopefully the other women in this division can see that and kind of up their game a little bit.
They need Jamie Hayter back.
Yeah. Hayter. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. They took a huge hit when Cargill left.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, looking back on it, I'm sure Tony's a little pissed that they built her up so much just for her to leave, because they put a lot of time and effort in that kind of crazy undefeated streak she had.
Well, let's talk about the first. I mean, how many matches does she have undefeated?
50 something.
Okay, I was going to say around 50.
Yeah.
The first 20 matches, I'm pretty sure, I don't know about you guys, but I'm sitting here and I think I blasted her on this.
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely.
How sloppy she was, how green she was. And not that I am some expert, but from what I can just see on television, it looked like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then
51.
50, and then it progressively got better. And then I think towards the end, I was giving her praise.
You were?
Yeah. Yep.
Kind of like the same thing I've done with Orange Cassidy.
Yep.
Okay. So I think that's a huge, huge hit to the women's division in AEW.
Well, and WWE's gonna. I mean, they're gonna strap a missile to her. I mean, look the way they've presented her already. So,
Yeah,
that's a big
she
deal.
She was backstage again tonight, getting out of a vehicle. She's driven to both Fastlane and tonight. Getting out wearing just stunning outfits, I guess you could say. I don't know. People were drooling over her.
She'll probably be there Friday too, I would presume.
In her 8-pack.
8-pack, yeah.
Yeah.
That's an 8-pack.
Majin with a good comment here. Saraya needs more reps. She can't get back to how she was before if she has a match every now and then. Oh, I agree. I think, if she's healthy, got to get her more matches.
Mm-hmm.
It did not like the title change tonight. And not saying I'm a huge Saraya fan, but we'll get to that later.
No.
Not that we're going to, go down rabbit holes and get off subject, but yeah.
All right. The quickest match of the night, Wardlow takes on Matt Sydal, ends in ref stoppage. That's all there was. It ends in ref stoppage.
This is the Wardlow I want to see. No nonsense, shows up, squash people, leave.
So he had
with the MJF on his
wrist tape. Did anybody catch when he jumped the guardrail?
I did not.
The security guard that tripped?
Yeah. He ate it hard. So he goes over his guardrail, and the guy obviously, and I think it was the bald security guy. So
not the guy who sat by us, though.
No, there's two bald security guys. There's an African American and
a white guy. Yeah.
This is the Caucasian guy.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
He hopped the fence and he ate shit.
His foot caught it.
Those guys move so fast. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often.
He ate shit. I chuckled great. It was
and you know he's gonna get some blowing his way backstage.
Oh, as soon as he got backstage with Wardlow, they started laughing at him.
Yep. Although it did take me back to Shield days when Mox, at the time Dean Ambrose, went to go over it and caught his foot on it and just made it into this whole big segment about how somebody was setting him up and
But I like this Wardlow. Just keep him going. I mean, I want to eventually see him have some better competition, but if they're reintroducing this character a little bit, this is how to do it. Just squash people.
Yeah,
Art, straight to the point.
Out of his hand.
Yep, keep the microphone out of his head. Build him as a monster. Have him be a heel in a feud with MJF if that's the direction you're going to go. Yep. I'm all for it.
Next, we head backstage to Daniel Garcia checking on an injured Jericho, and Matt Menard says, "We don't do that," and they leave.
Yeah, interesting layer to Garcia's character all of a sudden, showing some caring feelings for Jericho.
It's kind of what Sammy did.
Kind of.
And then Sammy joined the Don Callis family, so is Garcia the new Sammy?
Yeah, a little bit. And really, he needs to break away from the rest of the old JAS.
He does.
They need to do something with him.
Sammy needs to go back to his original gimmick, where he had the shooter boots, no knee pads, trunks, didn't dance like an absolute reject male stripper, and go back to the 1970s, 60s style professional wrestler like he originally was.
Mm-hmm.
And 2.0 needs to keep doing what they're doing because Daddy Magic is $1 million, and I'll tell you that all day long.
Because they're sports entertainers.
Because his nipples are hard. But anyways, Yeah, I want Daniel Garcia. I think Daniel Garcia should go back to that gimmick, and then we could have another 17 matches with Shibata. I don't know.
Majin saying he's no Alex Wright.
Good point.
Fair.
Fair.
Damn it. Oh, and Hager needs his hat back.
I love that.
That's the only thing he had going for him in AEW ever. So
I love that hat.
I mean, I could see. Let's be honest. They're talking about a bunch of contracts coming up.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's got to be close to being one of them.
I would think so. I the only contract news I saw regarding him is he is now officially retired from MMA. He is done, he said. So,
which is, you get to that age.
And he was pissed because he said Bellator dropped his last 2 fights when he was ready to go. So he's kind of over it. I think he's over training and then not having his fights go through. So, good question for Majin. What do you do with Anna then? Do you keep her with 2.0 or do you have her do her own thing? I say do her own thing.
Do her own thing. When we were in Indy, we saw her team up with, Valkyrie.
She was Valkyrie and the Bunny.
Yeah, and they did very well. I don't think Anna needs to be with a team anymore.
Put her with Jack Perry when he comes back.
Yeah, real life couple.
Yeah, he's going to be a heel. Put her as his valet. So.
Yeah, there you go. I guess.
I don't know, something different.
I don't know. Don't bring Ty back. Oh,
she's going to be gone for a while. So
you're not a Ty Valkyrie fan?
No, Mello.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Or Guevara, I should say.
Yeah. Well, she has like 3 last names, so.
Yeah.
Is she having the baby now? Was that why he's off TV?
I don't know.
He's got a concussion.
Oh.
But also she should be having the baby
She's
soon.
Got to be close.
So, yeah. But he does have a legit concussion from Wrestle Dream. And if you go back and watch that match, he should have been taken out of the match a lot sooner than they did. I'm kind of mad that they let that go on because he didn't know where he was. But
well, it happens.
Unfortunately, that seems to be a problem with AEW.
It does. And, and I was watching something just the other day, and I know we didn't know as much about concussions in the 90s as we do now, but you go back and watch 99 Royal Rumble, the I Quit match with Foley and Rock. It is so hard to watch.
Oh,
oh my God.
One of the best wrestling documentaries was filming that. It was called Beyond the Ropes.
Yep.
And
Beyond the Mat, sorry.
Yeah. And I've watched that documentary. I could watch it 100 more.
Oh, it's great, but it is hard to watch too with his family there.
They follow Foley during that, and I mean, was it 14?
14. He was pissed, legitimately. Him and Rock didn't get along for a while after this because The Rock did I don't know if it was 6 or 8 extra shots that weren't planned. So Foley was pretty pissed off.
He was pissed off the next day because he didn't know what the hell was going on that night.
Yeah. No. Oh God, no. Some of those were just.
Yeah. So, if anybody hadn't checked that out, I'm guessing if you're watching this podcast, you've seen that. But great. You can watch on YouTube too, commercial free.
But I guess long answer there. What I was trying to say is, commercials. Yeah, concussions are serious things, and I mean when that happens, they need to get the person out of the match.
I mean, you're not wrong. Commercials are a serious thing, and we need to get them out of there too.
Yeah, that too.
Obviously, Tanner and I have had concussions.
Yeah, I'm speaking of it like tonight.
You know why? Because for some reason we call Paul the wise man.
That's true.
Tanner did that. I just didn't.
Yeah, you got the power.
He's had a concussion.
Yeah.
Anyway, up next, Hangman Page versus Jay White and Bullet Club Gold on little tricycles. I don't know. I kind of popped a little bit for that. That was fun.
They're funny.
So towards the end of the match, White continues to attack the injured leg of Hangman Page, hits a sleeper suplex. There we go. Paige recovers and hits a clothesline. Paige rolls to the apron. Paige goes for the buckshot, but limps, and White goes for a Blade Runner. Paige counters with the Deadeye. Bullet Club distracts the referee. Paige covers for a near fall. Referee fights with Bullet Club Gold as Prince Nana sneaks down to ringside, goes to hit Paige with the crown, but Paige stops it. White rolls up Paige for the pinfall.
And with the tights, too. So
With the tights.
You kind of saw it coming, but I still thought it was perfectly planned out. Can't have Jay lose going into his feud with MJF. Hangman can't lose clean, so it just made the most sense. Keep that feud going. So we're going to get a rematch between Swerve and Hangman at Full Gear. Yeah, but the only thing I'm surprised is now Jay White is 4-0 now against Hangman Adam Page all time. So
you know, I thought this segment could use the Bucks backing him up a little bit.
Yeah, no mention of the Bucks tonight anywhere.
No, but that would also set up a little feud with the Guns. I thought would be good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had no Omega, no Bucks,
which they did at least bring up Omega after Jericho got beat down. They said he wasn't medically cleared to travel.
Which, okay, come on.
At least they wrote him out, though. What I'm saying, Bucks, we get no mention of whatsoever.
Okay, nowadays the only people that can't travel are girls that are 7 months pregnant and more.
You're right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
So to use the medically not cleared to travel, like you,
okay.
I mean, what you can't get at 30,000 feet because your limbs are gonna fall off now. Well, I don't get that.
I mean, at least for the show speaking. I mean, I'm glad at least they gave a reason, but because that's one thing I told Paul tonight. For how much NXT, how much star power they had. I thought AEW did a good job of putting a lot of their stars on tonight, but the three guys you built the company around weren't on at all. It was kind of surprising.
Unless that was the whole purpose, to show that we can put on a stellar show without these guys, unlike what you think.
You guys are forgetting one thing. We're on Tuesday night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday night. These guys might have had to fill their shift to Target.
Yeah, late night shift.
Yeah, I mean
Tuesdays
because they normally
Knox there with them
Wednesdays. So
and Tuesdays are the big shelf stocking day, right?
Yeah. They might not got out of their shift to Target.
Yeah.
So what was Knox doing then, Shep?
Knox is next.
How about Big Bill? He's a tag champ now.
I quit.
Big Bill.
I quit. Hey, you notice Rinsberg was our main official tonight.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Completely okay with that.
Yeah. Well, he did give you the didn't, so.
Yeah. He did give me the didn't, which we'll play that sometime. Did we already play it once?
No, I'm waiting until November.
Okay.
We got about a month.
Election.
Yeah.
Until the sorry sack of shit's out of office.
Yeah, then it's coming up right on here.
I did notice one little thing about Rinsberg I thought was great. So during the Jay White and Hangman match, Hangman goes outside to do the buckshot. And if you look at Rinsberg, that's when the Bang Bang Club was sitting on their butts up there on the back of Hangman. Like, he recognized them and he gave him the, like, I'm watching you, like, don't mess with him. Like, little things like that are just freaking gold.
Yep.
And it's like he knew they were back there. He acknowledged them.
But didn't make it a big ordeal.
Yeah, but it's just like little stuff like that. Like, I appreciate that. That's all I'm going to say. I think he's a hell of an official.
No, he's one of their better ones they got.
Yeah.
I agree.
Him and Aubrey's grown on me over the last him and Aubrey.
Yep. They're probably their best two. Paul Turner's pretty good. He has his moments, but he's pretty good. Knox is just mad.
Knox, his pants are choking his neck, and he loses blood flow to his head, and he's an idiot.
That was one of the better comments we've ever had on this podcast.
Man, that is almost as good as a comment that we've seen in the past regarding Tony Storm. That's all I'm going to say.
Almost.
Almost, Shep, almost. All right. So up next, and I'm not going to read all this. If you did not watch this segment, go watch this segment between MJF and Jay White. this thing was phenomenal. MJF showing why he is the best on the mic, why he is a generational talent.
I do want to talk about this though, because I have mixed
we're gonna
reactions.
talk about it.
And the IWC, I could see Dynamite losing a lot of viewers over this spot tonight because of the quarters.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Yes, and I am going to explain it because I see a little both sides, but nowadays, this is not the Attitude Era. You kind of got to be careful with what you do as far as edginess. And I know they were trying to get up to the edge here, but you see Juice Robinson have the role of quarters, right? Mm-hmm. Which he has used to punch people. Don't get me wrong, but it's Friedman's written on him. We know MJF's history. He tells stories about the quarters of Pick It Up Jew Boy, those type of things. So right away, a lot of people think, okay, even if he was talking about that he's going to use them to knock MJF out, we're talking about anti-Jews right there. But I see both sides. But the thing that concerns me is right now with what's going on in the world, it's kind of tone deaf, in my opinion.
I took it. Okay. I get your point. 100% understand that. And the world we lived in is. Are we explicit yet?
No.
The world we lived in is effed up. Yeah, I don't want to be the guy that makes this.
Well,
it's always Paul, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So the world we lived in is wrong. The way I took this was a little bit different, and it had nothing to do with religion and background. I took it in. If you're going to nitpick this, it was more of on the bullying side because MJF got bullied. Okay. And that's the way I took it.
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, he was bullied, and that's why he wrote the quarters down. I'm gonna hit you with the quarters, and we got a reaction out of MJF. Okay,
yeah, yep.
Act like it struck a nerve.
Right.
Just because MJF's $1 million on the mic. So I took it more of that than to tie in religion.
I guess I wish he wouldn't have wrote Friedman on the quarters and would have said something like, I'm going to use these and knock you out. Or just one little extra thing then maybe, because I definitely get both sides. And like Majin said, with the Israel attacks that just are happening and just happened, it's just not the best look for Tony or whoever approved this segment. I'm sure MJF approved the lines too, because I'm guessing when you're doing something like that can really pinch a nerve, you probably need to get that approved. But I don't know. That was the one segment tonight that kind of had me like, don't know if they should have done that.
Juice did say he was going to use him to break his jaw.
Yeah, but
he did.
Yeah, of course it was. Like Majin said, it was a little too late. But the way Juice's brain works, he wasn't thinking about anything other than the quarters in his pocket.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've never gotten the chance to see him ahead of time. Maybe they've got everybody's name written on him.
Maybe
when he pulls it out of the pocket and he knows who it's for.
Maybe.
I mean, it's Juice. The dude's crazy. He probably has everybody's name written on it so he doesn't forget.
But it definitely struck a chord with MJF's character, which adds that more personal level to the rivalry. But I saw some people saying they were I didn't agree with this, but they were comparing this moment tonight to when Shivani did the butts and seats, that pretty much saying that this was going to draw viewers away from AEW right over to NXT tonight. And it might have done that a little bit, but I don't think to that extent. Because I still saw a lot of people that were complaining about that were then praising what happened right after this match. So, right after this segment. So,
again, I thought it was a good segment. I love anytime you can get a 5-minute segment of MJF on the mic, working with a guy like Jay White. I think it's great. And like I said, I didn't see it exactly how you saw it, so I was more okay with it.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
Yeah, and I see your guys' points too, but that's just kind of, it was one of those things I did kind of cringe a little bit. Like, I don't know if they should have done that. But it didn't make me stop watching the show though. So
Right. And again, we'll get into it here in a minute, but I think too many people jumped the gun, no pun intended, on Juice's intent with that, because the next time we see MJF, he addresses
right,
the reference. But again, it's the world we live in. Somebody got butt hurt over it because of the attacks, and I understand that. We're an hour in. Should I just take this explicit for you, Shep?
I've never made this podcast explicit, so
never, ever.
I don't want it to be me.
All right, I'll do it. But it's one of those, just sit the fuck back and enjoy it.
Yes.
We made it an hour. I think that counts.
Yep.
And it wasn't me.
It's like that. It's like the old Attitude Era. It was after 10 o'clock, so you could say it.
Yeah.
You are correct, Paul.
Or after 9 o'clock, whatever it was.
They were heavy with the censor button tonight.
You know what? After what, the first he had 2 shit bombs, and then
and then they were censoring everything.
Then they started censoring him.
Yeah.
Well, I can say shit bombs now because Paul already said the F
word. Yeah.
Well, I started us out within 10 minutes of the podcast saying bitch, so
that's true. We were towing the line already.
Yeah, we just teased it for an hour, so everybody can.
Hey,
where's it come in at?
Hey, you know what? This has nothing to do. Well, it does have a little bit to do with professional wrestling. If Pat McAfee can say the F bomb on ESPN nowadays,
it's true.
I think we're okay on the old interwebs.
It's true.
Yeah. Explicit soon will mean like you were filming nude or something. It won't mean F bombs.
I'm telling you right now, boys. If it gets to the KOP and the nudes, we're in some deep shit.
We're not doing that. I'm saying that's what explicit will mean. You'll be able to drop up to like 10 F bombs a show.
We will have 1 follower, and
we're not doing any KOP OnlyFans anytime. So
no,
sorry for anybody out there that's hoping for that. Not happening.
What, I can't put my OnlyFans tag down there now?
Hey, if you have one, promote it. Go for it. Make that money. Go for it.
Well, the last picture I had was me in the KOP title, and that was it. See? Majin knows what I'm talking about.
Majin, you'll just have to, at that point, listen on Apple podcasts.
But still give us that 5-star review.
And go get your rabbit hole t-shirt at geekingoutshop.com. This is why we can't do Tuesday nights, boys.
Freaking Tuesdays.
Oh, man.
By the way.
And I started drinking later than normal because it's Tuesday. Oh, good shit.
By the way, apparently Rick and Morty's coming back.
As Tanner's uncle would say, good shit.
Pal.
Damn it, pal.
Oh, God.
Hey, if you guys didn't notice, you got 2 hours worth of a promo that Rick and Morty's coming back. It was around.
Oh my God! Yes.
Night.
Yeah.
I saw that. It was everywhere.
It was. That's how you get away without advertising for the first half hour. You just run it for 2 hours in the arena.
And guys, I don't watch a lot of TV outside of professional wrestling and sports. Okay. If I'm not watching professional wrestling, I'm watching NFL football or NASCAR, and I have no idea what the hell Rick and Morty is, by the way. So
it's an adult cartoon.
That's just me. Okay. You can make fun of me, but it's just me. I'm like, what the hell is this stuff?
I have never watched it, but from what I understand, I've heard people refer to it as like Doc Brown and Marty McFly.
Yes.
Animated.
Yes.
And a lot more adult oriented.
I've watched a couple episodes. I mean, when I say couple, they're like 2 or 3 ever, but it is pretty funny, but it's not something I'm going to sit down and watch all the time. But Yeah, but that is exactly, Paul. That is what I would say the synopsis is. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So up next is, I don't know how anybody feels about it, the Women's World Championship match. Saraya defending against Shida. There was a women's match on NXT at the exact same time, in case you were wondering. I saw that tweet.
They had two women's matches, though.
They had Asuka and Roxanne.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was a meet and greet for Asuka, from what I saw, because she was backstage, like meeting everybody on the roster in the women's division.
Oh, she's undefeated in NXT. So.
Yeah. But towards the end of this match, Saraya grabs a kendo stick. The ref stops her. Saraya sprays Shida with spray paint, hits the nightcap for another near fall. Shida recovers, hits a Falcon Arrow. They trade roll-up attempts, and Shida rolls up Saraya for the pinfall.
Yeah, and she got the spray paint from Ruby Soho, who brought it into the match, or tried to, but then we saw Toni Storm come down to a big pop from the crowd and attack with the shoe.
With the shoes.
With the shoes, which was good. Yeah, I was surprised. I did not see them taking the title off Saraya this quickly and giving it back to Shida. So Shida is now a 3-time champion. I'm already trying to think who's going to take it off her.
Well,
because I thought they would keep it on Saraya, I thought maybe Mercedes was finally going to show up.
So they put a graphic. She's been the title holder for 44 days.
Yeah, that's
And then a couple weeks ago on the dirt sheets, I read that at Wembley, it was a last minute decision to put the title on her.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that said they did that because her family was there and it was local.
Right.
They're going to give her the pop.
Right.
So when they put a graphic on there tonight as she's coming down the ring, it's 44 days. I'm like, she's losing the belt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like that women's belt is a hot potato.
Mm-hmm.
And Shida is one of those borderline performers that sometimes I think, man, I could get behind her, and then half the time I'm like, this sucks.
I personally think Tony views her as his Orange Cassidy of the women's division.
Yes. I really do.
We might not see it like that, but I think that's how Tony views her.
Better her than Nyla Rose.
Yes, which she never wins.
No, Nyla Rose is the first opponent for every women's champion.
Right. So she'll probably be the first to challenge Shida for it. But
yeah,
I just don't know who could be next to contend. Like
I want Thunder back.
Well, she should become. Meltzer said she should be coming back real soon. So
yeah, I want her back. Yeah. I want Britt Baker back.
Yeah, we need to heat her up. Yeah.
Statlander, like you talked about, Jimmy Hayter.
Yeah.
Like,
they got depth. That's what drives me nuts. They have depth. I don't
know if they have depth. They have a handful of girls that can do this. Okay. Depth would be 10 to 12 performers, and I don't know if they have that.
Well, when you talk about some of the ROH, like Athena,
Athena lost her Women's Warrior Championship this past weekend.
Yeah, they're pushing Sky Blue. I know she's not there yet, but they're pushing her pretty hard.
Yeah.
I think they do have about 10 to 12, but I don't know.
To me, it's not that they have depth in the Women's World Champion. They have depth in the TBS Championship picture.
That's fair. More mid card. That's fair.
They have a handful of talent that could be in the title picture regularly at this point.
That's fair.
But they have a bunch of talent that could make that TBS Championship a hot potato.
Mm-hmm. They got to do a better job of transitioning those girls to main event out of the
yes.
Yeah, and I imagine, speaking of Sky Blue can at least have a good match. She can have a short ring or something. Wouldn't mind maybe her getting a TBS title eventually.
Mm-hmm. I don't. She was so Warrior Wrestling was in our backyard Friday night. Last minute,
yeah,
I decided to go. Sky Blue had some really dark face paint. which I thought was odd.
She got misted.
Yep. It's a tie-in to Julia Hart's Mist.
Yeah. And her reaction to winning the women's championship for Roy Wrestling was odd. I know the way they took it off Athena was even odder. Is that a word? Odder?
Sure.
Sure.
It was different. So it was just different. And her character was different, up there. So I'm wondering how that's going to transition to AEW. And they announced her as an AEW star when she came to the ring. So would love to see a feud with her and Athena. I think that'd be a great feud. I think Athena's a hell of a performer. But
now, let me ask you this as we look at Majin's comment here.
Yeah, Majin says Willow Nightingale is over as hell and can work. She can go to the women's title scene. I agree somewhat with Tanner. They have depth, just got to use
it. Okay. Speaking of Willow Nightingale, and that's why I wanted to get that comment out of the way here. Both Willow and Sky Blue have been misted, if that's a word. And both of them have shown the darker paint. Is Julia going to get her own version of House of Black in the women's division?
Ooh.
Because remember,
it's leading towards that.
Just as long as it doesn't turn into a Nightmare Collective.
Oh, God.
Well, Paul's got a point there because Sky Blue shows up to an indie show, which is broadcasted on Fight TV. Okay. They advertise her as an AEW star.
Right.
She's never had face paint ever on AEW. She shows up.
She did have the darker. It started to kind of come in since the mist. I saw pictures. Yeah, I had some buddies who were there.
He had eyes, both of them painted, drooping down. Like it was odd. Like not her typical character.
I have to tune into Rampage Friday, see what it looks like.
Yeah, she is on Rampage Friday.
So
I'm trying to find a picture here.
But it's interesting because I know Julia Hart and Lee Johnson, they're going to be on their honeymoon, so they're going to be away for a little while off TV. So, yeah, it'll be interesting when she comes back. So I had not thought of that, Paul, but I like that idea. Because I think the House of Black is great, but I want to see Malachi in singles action.
And I mean, I have no problem. You put Malachi in singles action. You let the other two,
Brody and Buddy.
I was getting there.
I'm helping you out.
Go into tag action. And then you let Julia kind of do her stuff in the women's division with her own version of House of Black.
Yep. I like it. Give you the pencil, Paul.
Just trying to find the picture.
I can look for it if you want to move on to the main event. I can look for it so I can share on the screen.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do, was send it to you. So there it is. I found it.
Okay.
Coming in a text message, and it's got photo credit on it. So we will be able to credit them for that as well. All right. While that comes to you and you do what you need to do, we see commentary, and Excalibur announces that Jericho suffered internal injuries from the attack from Hobbs, went to the hospital for further testing. Tony Schiavone says he's gotten to announce a lot of things for Tony Khan over the last 4 years, but this is by far his favorite. Schiavone announces that AEW is donating $1 million worth of toys to Toys for Tots for Christmas.
That's a lot of toys.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I saw a lot of people complaining about, that was Tony's big announcement. Well, it doesn't always have to be 5-star
it doesn't have
match
to
or
be,
anything.
oh, we just signed this big name, you know?
I thought it was really cool, and I did laugh at one comment I saw. They said a bunch of kids are going to get Cody and CM Punk figures for Christmas.
And Jade Cargill.
I was like, that's pretty good. That's
mean,
pretty good.
It's not a bad point.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Cody, Punk, and Jade.
yeah,
He's probably got some excess inventory he's got to get rid of.
yeah,
Yep.
Might as well write it off as a tax.
yeah.
Yep.
So
We quickly head backstage where Don Callis says he asked for 10 minutes of time. He did not give it, but that's okay. Or was not given it, but that's okay because he has a backup plan. They go to picture in picture, and he does the Sammy Guevara note cards.
Which I didn't even pay attention to.
Basically, they're going to get their revenge. Guevara will be back, and everybody will pay for what they did to him. Those were the
Alrighty.
ones I caught.
Well, here's the
back-
sky blue picture, real quick. I got it ready to go
Yep.
here. Yeah, so she's got the dark eyes. Yep.
Kind of how we saw Julia start, too.
Mm-hmm.
Before she joined, and that's why I was like, maybe. Maybe. Back from commercial break, MJF says he's not in the mood to be interviewed, calls Cole, and actually gets through this week. Cole is stuck at Roddy's. The connection cuts out. Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed says they'll back up MJF against Bullet Club Gold. MJF doesn't respond, walks away. Billy Gunn questions Caster why he would offer up their services without asking them. Caster explains that MJF is his friend and he thinks he needs help.
I told you, Paul, Friday, that we'd eventually see these guys team together. And when they do the scissoring max, Roof's going to blow off whatever end they're in.
Yep. That's what I was sitting there. I was like, oh, because he kind of hesitated. He kind of looked and then grabbed his belt and walked away.
And you know, when Bullet Club Gold was saying you find your three, blah, 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 first three that came to my mind was
the Elite.
The Elite. Yeah, a variation of the Elite. So I didn't even think about the Acclaim, but makes even more sense with what we've seen the past few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially, as of the taping of BTE, MJF was nice enough to remind Kenny 26 days.
Yes.
I loved it. Loved it.
Yes.
And I love the part 26 days till what?
Yeah. Yeah. And this is a good way to get Bullet Club Gold involved in trios too. So
Yeah. Up next, Christian makes his way to the ring, tells Kansas City they should be proud of him as a champion since he doesn't need help like the Chiefs do. Cage says that Copeland was wrong about Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus's loyalty. Cage says that Copeland's wish to end their careers together rings hollow because Copeland left Christian behind when he became a main eventer. Christian says Copeland is on a downward slope while Christian keeps rising. You need me. I don't need you, Christian says. Christian says that he appreciates Copeland being a fan of his, and he knows that Beth Phoenix is a big fan of him as well. Christian says that he will take good care of Copeland's children after Luchasaurus murders him. Christian tells Beth to put fresh sheets on the bed because your new father is coming home. So I saw people, he mentions dressing people up like Halloween. Okay, my first thought was the Edgeheads.
I was thinking Judgment Day.
That's what everything I saw on Twitter was Judgment Day. I went to Edgeheads because dressed them up in Halloween costumes. You had Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder who looked identical to Edge, like they were trick-or-treating as Edge.
But I think the reason he was pointing at Judgment Day was they were the ones that left Edge. Edge was their leader for what, a month or two?
Well, the Edgeheads left him too, so
maybe a month, if that.
Yeah.
So
it could be either one, but I don't know. With the reference to Halloween, it just made me think of the Edgeheads because they dressed like Edge.
Either way, really good heel work as always.
Yes. Of course, Copeland then charges the ring. Nick Wayne holds Copeland's leg. Luchasaurus strikes. Luchasaurus hits Copeland with an extension lariat. Copeland appears too hurt to compete from the lariat to the back of the head. Copeland struggles to his feet and decides to fight through the pain. The bell rings. Luchasaurus immediately batters Copeland. Saw a tombstone pile driver as the entire Twitterverse is saying, "Oh, where's Undertaker?" Luchasaurus is hitting his move in the ring. Don't worry, guys. But we'll get to that in a minute.
She's hit before.
Oh, I know. It's just it was the timing of everything. Towards the end of the match, they get back into the ring. Copeland sets up for a spear. Copeland stops Christian from using the title and hits Luchasaurus with it. Nick Wayne gets knocked off the apron. Christian has his title back, and Luchasaurus thinks Christian hit him with the title. Copeland capitalizes on the confusion, hits a spear, gets the pinfall. 15 minutes and 31 seconds for this.
I didn't know Luchasaurus could go that long.
I didn't either.
Until tonight. So he proved something to me.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was fine. Fun match. I really liked the spot where Edge did. See, God damn it, Adam Copeland. I knew I was going to do it. Adam Copeland did the spear off the steps. I thought that was neat.
Oh man, switched. He normally does it with the left. Switched to the right.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. That was slick. I mean, dude can still go at the age of 49. No, I enjoyed it. We knew Edge was.
Adam Copeland was going to win.
Hey, we know your second residence in Stamford, Connecticut. We know that.
Oh my God, I did it 3 times last week and didn't realize it, so I listened to the pod again. Now twice I've caught myself tonight. We knew Adam Copeland was gonna win tonight, but I like how they pulled it off. I like that Luchasaurus was confused with the Christian hit him, and Nick Wayne's turned into a little shit.
I think Nick Wayne's a better heel than
he is.
Yes,
he was as a face with Darby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's a great position for Nick.
I did too.
Yep.
When we talk about Dino Douche, I can't get behind this guy.
I got a master's degree, but I'm going to dress up as a dinosaur. Rawr.
Yeah, and I call him Dino Douche because that's what Jim Cornette calls him. And one of his better matches, but I don't know. I didn't first 6 minutes of this match, he just pummeled Adam Copeland.
Good one.
We know how to say it, Tanner.
You did it once earlier.
I did.
This is not how I saw his debut going. Now, did I think he'd pull out the win? Yeah, and he's trying to make sure Luchasaurus looked okay. But at this point, when you have Christian holding the belt, which is your main face right now, and then you're debuting the rated R superstar Adam Copeland, I don't think you need to focus on Luchasaurus. I don't know. I didn't care for it. I thought it could have gone a different way. So to me, this was a fail. Not that Adam Copeland looks bad, but I don't think Adam Copeland needs to put over Luchasaurus of anybody.
Well, the one thing I want them to do with this story, because I think this story's got a potential between Adam Copeland and Christian's got potential to be one of the best stories of 2024. And why I say 2024 is they better not touch until 2024. They better let this thing really play
Marinate.
out. So go through Luchasaurus. He'll probably go against Nick Wayne at some time. Probably do tags with maybe Darby or somebody for a little bit. Then having him and Chris, because I'm gonna be so pissed if they do this match next month at Full Gear, or even in December.
Yeah.
I want this thing in 2024.
No.
Oh no, I agree with Tanner.
Paul was getting ready to say something, I thought.
Well, no, I was going to agree with Tanner. But we were talking about this earlier, Tanner. How does the Danielson cage match go down Saturday? And you mentioned, maybe Luchasaurus gets involved, ends up accidentally costing Christian. And now I can talk about it because after that accidental confusion, obviously we all know Cage didn't hit him. Luchasaurus, big dumb dinosaur, thinks he did. So maybe accidentally cost him the title. Gets caught trying to hit or something, hits Christian, meaning to hit Danielson, and then Danielson picks up the victory. I would be okay with that, but I want to, if this sounds stupid, if Danielson wins the TNT title, because in my opinion, Danielson's above the TNT championship. Not that the TNT championship's not a good belt, but Danielson is a main eventer. He is a world title guy. He doesn't need the TNT championship. So if he's going to hold it, I want there to be a reason he did, not just he out wrestled him, because we know he can out wrestle him. So
it's a good point. It's a good outlook on it.
So after the match, as everybody else is, changing their underwear that was watching USA, Nick Wayne attacked Copeland. Copeland gets beat down. Bryan Danielson runs up to make the save. Luchasaurus and Cage beat down Danielson. The Blackpool Combat Club runs out to even the odds. Mogul Embassy joins the brawl. Hangman comes out to join the brawl. In the ring, Cage submits to the lapel lock as the show goes off the air. And Copeland was locked onto Danielson the entire time he had the lapel lock locked in. As soon as Christian started tapping, Copeland was just looking at him. And I'm like, all right.
I noticed that. It was chaos, but I liked it. It reminded me of early Dynamite days and Nitro back in the day when Nitro was hot. I like a good melee at the end as long as it makes sense with everybody storyline wise. So
right. And this made perfect sense for everybody to be involved.
Yep.
So let me ask you this question. Would we have got this finished tonight if we weren't going up against NXT?
Nope.
Okay.
We wouldn't have had the 15+ minute overrun.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be 10, and it went 15.
Well, it went over 10 because I had to DVR this thing because I was late, and I ended up having to watch the finish on cage side seats. So,
and NXT did overrun as well tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which actually I have NXT going on with no volume right now in the back corner. So,
yeah. Hope I didn't ruin anything for you.
No, you didn't. It's NXT. So
the last, and again, people tuned in for 2 hours for 4 minutes worth of programming at the end. Okay, of course they tuned in for Cody. So,
and John.
Yeah.
So 20 minutes total.
But the Cody segment is that where we're going now? Are we going to do ratings first or what?
We're going to do ratings and then we'll get over into Cody.
Okay. All right.
So with that being said, gentlemen, let's go over our ratings. We'll be nice and go to this guy who thinks he's a champion. Shep, go ahead and give us.
Thinks I'm a champ. I am a champ. It's freaking.
You haven't handed it over yet, so
well,
I mean,
it's not my fault that Tanner lives 14.
I did forget to stop by and pick it up Friday, so.
Oh
yeah,
Tanner was in town.
Yeah,
and I mean, since technically possession is 9/10 of the law, Shep.
Champion. Hey, Jay White is holding the belt, so
it's true.
See, he's calling himself the champion. Shep's calling himself the champion.
I look a lot like
Shep's
Jay White too. So
yeah. Just need to grow that hair just a little bit longer.
That's all I got. That's all I got, guys. Look at this. I'm getting old, sons of bitches. Anyways,
why do you think my hair's shaggy? It's my hairline's like back here. Go ahead with your rating, Shep.
So, if this was a normal show on a Wednesday, I would have said very, very well done. Hats off. Knowing what they were going up against from Tanner's uncle's company over there in Stanford. And I watched the first segment of Cody before I decided to dive into Dynamite. And man, I want AEW to win this. I really do.
They're not going to, unfortunately.
I know, and I see why. So, good show. I thought we had some really really good matches. I thought TK threw the book at these guys. So I'm going 7.7, which I think is pretty high rating for Mr. Negative over here.
Yeah. All right, we'll head over to the real champ now. Tanner, what do you got?
I thought Tony did a good job throwing the book as far as putting some really good matches together while not getting too crazy away from storylines. I don't know what else he really could have done. I mean, he doesn't have the superstar legend power that WWE has that they can just bring in for a one-off like they did tonight. I mean, they brought a 50-some-year-old Hall of Famer in for a chokeslam spot. So I thought it was a solid show. I thought there was a lot of good things, but really I just go back and I see both sides, but really the quarters thing took my rating down a lot lower than it would have been. 7.6 for me tonight.
Whoa.
Wow.
I was in the 8s until besides that spot.
Now, if I would have said 7.6, would you win 7.5?
Yes, because 7.6 was the number I wanted to go the whole time. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, 7.8 would be what I would normally go with here, but I don't know. That might be the easy cop out answer for Shep, but I am gonna stick with 7.8. I mean 6, 7, 8. But I think we're all right there, all in about the same spot, but we can't just pick the same ratings across the board. That doesn't seem right.
No, it was a solid show. I think he did everything he could have. I guess I was still expecting a little more. I don't know if I was expecting like a big debut or a return. I don't know what I was
Were
expecting.
expecting Mercedes. Just
I always
admit
expect
it.
her when there's a big women's match, but I'm getting to the point where I don't know what's gonna happen.
Well, at this point, she's about the only one that can debut men or women that would make that big of an impact right now.
Yeah, because they do have a woman, I think, that's going to be debuting soon, or I think she's recently signed from Europe. I think I'm not very familiar with her work, but I think her name's Mariah May. Supposedly she's signed, but nobody's going to know who she is.
Yeah. No, she's going to have to make her own. So
right. So, I mean, they're going to add some more talent there, and maybe Mercedes isn't healthy yet. I don't know her status. So, it's not a coincidence they showed it at All In. They wouldn't have showed her on TV if they weren't going to use her in some capacity eventually.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add there, Shep, before I start with the wrestler of the night?
Nope. I'm ready to go to the next segment.
All right, so we're going to go to the true champion to start us off this time. I'll let you get your go first here, Tanner.
All right. So a lot of people I could pick from tonight. I mean, we've got 2 new champs. We've got a good opener. I am going to go with Swerve Strickland. In a losing effort, but he didn't lose clean. He brought it against Danielson. And I think Tony, I'm kind of piggybacking. I know I made similar comments, but piggybacking off what Shep said, I think Tony's, realizing what he has in Swerve. So even his losses are against really good opponents, main event guys. He's climbing that ladder, and he's looking for a big 2024.
Yep.
What about you, Paul?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go with Orange Cassidy tonight. I think there's so much they could still do with him as international champion. I still think even if he's not healed, I think I texted you guys about this. I don't think I talked about it on the podcast. Have Danhausen show up and say, yes, I cursed the title. just do something cheesy with it. And that's why nobody could stay healthy after Cassidy lost it.
Well, did you see that Danhausen is coming back like really soon? They did a
little vignette.
vignette. Yeah. So he is coming back.
But
soon.
I mean, like, just to have him, tweet or something that says, the curse has been lifted now or something. I don't know.
Which, Paul, I know you're a horror movie fan, at least to an extent. What was that vignette from?
I didn't catch it, so I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll let you go see it, and you can text me later.
Yeah.
But go check it out on his Twitter, because I'm pretty sure I'm right on this, but I don't want to say it without you seeing it. So,
Shep, that leaves you, my man.
Yes, and my wrestler of the night did not even enter a ring, and I think he was $1 million tonight. I think he's $1 million every night. It's MJF.
I was ready to dance.
We're gonna pick Nana.
If I pick Nana, I quit. Well, I tried to quit earlier.
Yeah.
And FTR screwed me. Whatever. Anyways, that's all another subject. But no, this guy takes a wrestling promo and he turns it real. And I'm a 41-year-old dude, okay? And at one point, I got to look and go, he's working here, okay? But yet, he makes me feel like this is real.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If this guy can do that, he's done his job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I thought his work tonight was one of his best. So
it's just another example. If Tony hasn't already done it yet, he's got to back up the Brinks truck for this guy. You cannot let him go to the WWE. You cannot.
You know what though? I hope he works his way through April of next year, because that's primaries, right? When we talk about elections, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then I hope he switches from April to November next year. I hope he uses that gimmick of the bidding war of 2024. I hope he uses it, and I think he could make a ton of people start talking stuff on the dirt sheets.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if they have signed a contract, those two have kept it so secret where the dirt sheets are dirt sheets. Let's be honest. They're just dirty, dirty people, right? Let's just be honest. But I think those two have maybe said, hey, look, all right, I'll sign a contract, but it's between me and you, Tony. We're not going to let this go. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to let these dirt sheet people get on the social media and talk about it. So,
yeah, if he's signed, according to SRS, Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful, that MJF's closest people around him don't know. So,
yeah. And you know what? I could see them two saying,
I could too.
Let's sign and we'll talk about it later.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Two of us.
All right. Now, before you hit that button, Tanner, Shep, I got a question for you.
Okay.
TK just turned 41.
So
he owns a soccer team, a football team, and a pro wrestling company.
Wow, are you trying to make me feel like shit, Paul, or what?
No, I'm just asking. I got to ask. My dad's a big fan of when he sees a wrestler or something my age. He goes, "Oh, what have you done with your life?" Just picking on me. So I figured I'd return the favor to you, Shep. When are we going to see that Shep wrestling promotion break out?
Not anytime soon. I don't know when TK turned 41. I turned 41 September 30th. So
he turned October 10th
today or yesterday now.
So yeah. I'm older than TK. Well, I don't have a professional wrestling company. I don't have a soccer team. I don't have an analytic team that supplies the NFL and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I make fun of this dude a lot. And it's out of constructive criticism. Okay. Not that I don't respect the guy. So, yeah, Paul, I got nothing compared to what you're comparing me to. It's just me, a guy that likes to drink vodka and talk shit about professional wrestling. It's me.
Hey, I'm just saying you could start your own promotion. It doesn't take much. I know a guy. Anyway,
It worked out well for me last time.
That's another rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's another rabbit hole for another time. It's its own podcast. So, Tanner, go ahead and hit that button.
All righty.
So, what do you guys want to talk about?
Yeet.
Yeet. That was entertaining the other night. He and Jey Uso's post Fastlane press conference. Those guys were having a good time, and they had a few celebratory drinks before they went in there.
I think Jey had a few more than Cody.
They had a few libations.
Yeah. Jey was a little more popped. I think he was really struggling on a few of his answers, but
he just kept talking in circles.
But man, I felt like an idiot saying those guys had no chance to win those tag titles. God, I was wrong.
Yeah, but I would never thought I would see Cody snort and have to try to hide the fact that he's wiping the snot off of his face from snorting, laughing so hard.
I think my favorite Cody comment was, "Do you feel him, sir?" Just how he said it. I'm like, man, these guys are having fun. So I still find it odd that the first title Cody wins back in WWE is a tag title, but it is part of the story.
But I was thinking of this, okay? Let's take it back years ago. I don't know if either of you were watching it at this time. Cody was part of a trios group with
Legacy,
himself, Randy, and Ted DiBiase Jr. They're all second generation superstars, at least.
Right.
You've already started that up again with Jey.
True.
I don't think they want to remember Ted DiBiase Jr.
No.
And that's why I'm thinking maybe this is a just kind of wipe the slate clean, maybe add one more person, revamp something as a trios. Now Cody's kind of in that Randy Orton teacher role. Maybe. And I could be completely wrong, and it could just be these two. And at the next pay-per-view, Jey goes out and super kicks his freaking head off and turns on him.
Which it is Survivor Series, which some big stuff you think would happen. So, well, they got that crown thing in 3 weeks, but then Survivor Series.
Yeah. I was meaning Survivor Series, not Crown
that's
Jewel.
what yeah.
The Saudis don't count. So,
no, remember, Braun Strowman won a title over there, and then, it vanished by the time it came back to the U.S.
So did my man Bill. He won a title over there, too.
Who?
Braun Strowman won a title over
there. Bill about killed Mark. Yes, I'm using real shoot names right now.
I'm trying to be politically correct here, and I don't think I'm going to win. So I'm just going to
explicit.
I'm going to skip over the comment because Crown Jewel doesn't count. Okay, that's all.
No, it doesn't. I mean, the Prince wanted Yokozuna to wrestle, and Yokozuna's been dead for 20 years.
Well, they got some good edibles over there, I guess. He's asking, but
they're behind the times. Okay, they're just getting to the Attitude Era.
That'd be fun.
Well, they made Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Oh, for God's sake! Kane's mask fell off.
And Kane's mask fell off, and those guys hurt themselves, and they were just.
Shawn came out of retirement for that. Oh, that was awful. I remember
DX
coming home from work,
775.
flipping that on and watching that, and I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
That was in
I have-
Australia.
I have never watched a single Crown Jewel.
No, not worth your time.
The only one I remember watching, well, I watched clips of, was when Titus slid under the ring.
That one, I remember when Lesnar took on Vasquez. James Vasquez.
Yeah, they got him out of jail for that, right?
Well, he went to jail afterwards, but
No.
that was just stupid. Just dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I did not see Cody holding gold. Good for him and Jay coming out fast lane. They defended the titles Monday night against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Good main event. They retained, and then he showed up on NXT tonight, which I did not watch, but you guys did. So I will let you take the ball from here.
Yeah, so tiny little pyro, which was very weird for a Cody entrance.
No
And
Cody
they
Vader
hit it.
tonight.
Well, hold on. You say tiny pyro. It's in a warehouse.
I know that it was as big as it could be, but I'm used to the Raw, the SmackDown, the pay per
It's in a
view
warehouse
pyro.
with 300 people, if that.
I can't believe they didn't pull out the Cody Vader. They were doing everything else tonight. So
Nope, no Cody Vader. Pyro's a little delayed from when Cody signaled for them in his motions like he normally does, but that's okay. Anyway, he gets to the ring. He talks about the fact that, he never saw himself standing in this specific ring. He goes on to talk about how it felt right. And I thought, all right, the announcement's going to be that he's going to fill in for his dad and kind of help. That was not the case. He said he had announcements tonight. He said everybody's been enjoying the women's breakout tournament, and when it wraps up, there will be a men's breakout tournament. He then says that he hears so much about the Dusty Rhodes Classic tag team tournament, and says that it will be returning as well. And then his final announcement is that he has talked to Shawn Michaels, and Shawn has approved this. He is the special guest general manager for NXT tonight. Again, I went, all right, how else do you go up against AEW? You have the guy who helped book it. And he did mention that this is the biggest night in NXT history. He sets a title match. The NXT championship will be defended against Dominic Mysterio. And he says that he knows how the Judgment Day works, and so there needs to be a special guest referee. Everybody kind of starts chanting like it's going to be him, and he says, no, it'll be the hottest superstar in the WWE today, L.A. Knight.
yeah,
I was waiting for it.
I had to do it.
Yeet. Yeet.
Yeet.
Yeet.
Can we pull some of that promo and just or that press conference and just run it on KOP?
We will have it next. I will have it next week. Yes.
Yeet.
Yeet.
Yes, I will have to get that soundbite.
No.
The bonus question's supposed to be easy.
No, I mean, from the sounds of it, okay, cool. I'm not gonna watch NXT, so cool.
The champion, I don't know his name. I can't pronounce it. I don't know. He said something about being the dragon, which no, that's
Dragunov?
Daniel. Sure. Little guy who's celebrating his birthday as well. Lots of birthdays in the wrestling world today, apparently. He retained. I don't know about any other match. The main event was the one with Heyman and Cena in the corners.
Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker.
There we go. So you know more about what's going on than I do. Braun went to attack Carmelo with the stairs. Cena grabs him from him, turns around, and smacks Solo with the stairs because Solo came running at him out of nowhere. They fought backstage. Braun Breaker picks up the victory. He says, good job for you, but there's only one badass in this company, in the WWE. And he points to himself, and there's a gong. And we hear a motorcycle rev up as the American badass Undertaker makes his way to the ring on his bike. Dex breaker, choke slams him, lifts Carmelo up, kind of, puts him over, and they go home.
Yeah, they'll pop a big rating.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was NXT did this. I hate to say this, but NXT did the smart thing. They didn't announce the overrun. So everybody tuned in for those last 5 minutes waiting on that gong to hit. And then it hit to 10:01 and 10:02. And then finally it happens. So they lured people in.
Well, they used the trump card.
They did. They did.
You know what? They went up to this Title Tuesday and said, okay, yeah, we can have Cody. We can have Cena. But we're WWE. We're going to do this one thing. We're going to make a phone call. And he'll do whatever we say because we still send him a check, I'm sure. And you have Taker come. So, and the way they advertised it leading up to it, yeah. They played this so well. It was ridiculous. And not that AEW couldn't combat it, but it was really, really tough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had their, like, every time AEW came out and said, we're going to do this, freaking NXT trumped them, which is hard. That's hard to do. Being NXT. Now, if it was Raw or SmackDown, it's different. But we're NXT, right? Or they're NXT. But all of a sudden, you had John Cena, Cody, LA Knight, Taker, Paul Heyman, Asuka. All of a sudden, they're on NXT for no reason. Come on.
Yeah.
It was a trump card move. It was
They wanted to flex on them a little bit.
Hey, you want to say flex? We're already explicit, right? It was a boom. Here's my big dick. There it is. That's what it was. Let's be honest.
Mundo said Taker looked rough. He was out of breath. Just get in the ring.
He's 50-something years old.
Yeah,
man.
he's pretty old.
I bet Mundo, you'd be out of breath trying to get up out of that motorcycle into the ring too, right?
I would be.
I wouldn't be because I'm in peak physical condition, but it's
All right.
there.
So while you guys were just talking there, I went and watched Danhausen. Yeah, that's from Halloween 3.
Bingo. Yep.
It's from what?
Halloween 3.
Okay.
Season of the Witch. Yeah.
Is that a Stephen King film?
No, it's
Okay.
well, no.
Michael Myers.
But he's not in that one.
No.
Well, isn't that Austin Powers?
Technically, yes, Mike Myers, but this one kills people. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wearing a jumpsuit, a William Shatner mask,
Yep.
and has
No
a
eyebrows.
butcher knife.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need to go down this rabbit hole. We'll be here for a long time. So.
I don't watch movies, so
Yeah. But yeah, the first comment underneath it was, "Did you curse the belt?" Or I guess response, reply, tweet, whatever. I don't know.
Post,
It's still,
whatever
yeah.
Elon's calling it now. Idiot.
Yeah.
But any
X
final
is being sued by X for the use of their X and not X.
No. Any final
Just
thoughts?
like what? No, I'm looking forward to getting back. Although if they're gonna run this with Danhausen, Friday's the 13th.
Oh, Rampage.
Yeah.
So
Could
we'll
be.
find out tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
That's true.
You guys will.
Spoilers
You
coming
guys will. I
Yeah.
won't, but
Yeah.
you guys will.
Oh, come on, Paul. You don't read spoilers?
No,
I
he
do
does
not.
pretty good. He
I
tries to
do
stay away
not.
from them. So
Yep.
yeah.
I have done very well. I watch Rampage as like I did when SmackDown was taped.
I take the forbidden fruit and I eat it and I read it.
And And remember, everybody, Collision is an hour earlier this week, so it's 7 p.m.
Yep.
Eastern time start this week, like it was last week. So
I will not be watching it live, so there's that.
I
will
doubt
not
I
be-
will be.
I won't be either. No, I have the chili cook-off, and then I have a wedding.
Yeah, I have a renewal, and Tanner's got Purdue, and possibly a renewal if he can make it in time. Who knows?
Well,
Yep.
Paul, you're covering the chili cook-off, right?
No, that would be Randy.
Do you ever work, Paul?
Yeah, I
Okay.
work 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day.
I'm just checking because every time I do a radio spot, I have no Paul. It's always Randy.
You got to send a special request. And we're not
Mm-hmm.
talking about Randy the Viper Orton out there, everybody. We are not
Right.
talking about Randy Orton. We're talking about
Well,
Randy.
if you compare Randy Wynn to
If-
Randy Orton, then holy shnikes.
I would pay some money to see Randy Wynn take a bump.
I mean, I would yeah, but I mean, as long as you're okay with paying disability for the rest of your life, because I mean, he'd hurt himself. Let's be honest.
Oh, all of us would, but maybe not Paul. Paul's still taking bumps.
Yeah, I take bumps. I've taken bumps. I've taken chair shots. I've been thrown into the lake. About the only thing I haven't been done is been lit on fire yet.
Well, I mean, we can make suggestions.
Yeah. We know a guy or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that in Shep Championship Wrestling.
Ooh, I might start my own promotion.
Hey, another Ted DiBiase comment.
Yes.
Yeah,
Go.
Teddy Jr. Yeah, he's gonna be behind bars for a little bit. Yeah.
But did he
Did
get
not
he got-
follow
he got
in
the same
Daddy's.
wrapped up thing with Favre, right?
Was he? I didn't know it was the same thing. I just knew he.
I thought it was the same thing with Favre.
I thought DiBiase was more property related.
Oh,
I think
But-
so.
okay.
Either way, both of them not good ordeals there.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Listen to your uncle, IRS.
Anything else?
No. I'm done talking to you two
No.
jackalopes.
Hey, you made it a lot longer than I thought you would.
Yeah, especially on a Tuesday night.
See, this is why I didn't do any quiz tonight. I knew we were gonna have plenty to talk about. So
All right, we'll do a quiz.
next week.
Well, we can't do it later in the week because
No, we're all busy.
I'll be drunk.
Yeah, at least you're honest.
Yeah.
Hey, I told everybody there's going to be a team out there with a black shirt on. Go vote for them. They're going to have the best chili.
And
That's all the clues I could give.
we're the outsiders. If that gives you any more hints.
Don't make it. Just
I
remember,
love it.
don't make that chili too sweet.
No, the chili won't be too sweet, but we are the New World Order. I mean, just throwing that out there.
Gonna have to save me some. I didn't get to try any last year. It was gone by the time I got there, and I won't
Well-
even be there this year.
We had a line across the street up into the courthouse parking lot. So
Yeah,
we have doubled the ingredients this year. So
all right.
You gotta promise me one thing. If somebody tries to put an ingredient or something in the chili you don't agree with, you gotta go, that doesn't work for me, brother.
that doesn't work for me, brother. No.
Yeah.
I have a couple of. I have a sweatshirt coming because it's going to be cold as balls, and a t-shirt coming. So I have doubled the ingredients that we had last year. So hopefully the new world order doesn't run out of chili this year. So
Love it.
last year we weren't the new world order. We were under some precedents, and we were oppressed and had to follow all these rules, and those people are just awful fucking human beings. Sorry.
They need a finger poke of doom.
Yeah. So I mean, we won it. We won this thing last year, right?
Yeah.
Because we were badass. But this year we are set free from all them fucking assholes. So there you go. That's all I'm gonna say.
I expect to hear reports of the theme song being played from your tent.
I want 2 theme songs.
I have a generator. I have a generator. 1 for the smoker, 2 for the speaker. So
Because it better be a new World Order theme and Voodoo Child as well.
there'll be plenty of music playing. Yeah, and there might be one of these around too. So
Yeah, it normally is with you, Shep. I think last year you had to be careful not to allow random people to grab drinks from you guys at one point.
Yeah, I mean, we got busy, and I had Yetis sitting around. I want kids grabbing them. Yeah, it's not good.
Yep.
Not good.
Yep.
Responsibility.
I'm a responsible human being.
I know you are.
Yes, you are. Yes,
You're the senior of this podcast, so somebody's got to be responsible here.
Right.
What an asshole move, Tanner.
That's all right, you know.
Wow. I think that's almost as bad as what I did. But anyway.
I mean, I got gray in the beard. Okay, I'll get
I got some too. I got some too, even. And I'm supposed to be the young buck here. No
well,
pun.
You got married in the last, 60 days.
It's true.
And it all came flowing out shortly afterwards.
That's what I tell my wife. Doesn't go over well, but I've told her that quite a few times. I said, I didn't have this gray hair on the side till I met you.
Tanner doesn't get any better. I can't wait till Tanner's just wiping dirty ass and I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
He's gonna pop onto the podcast one of these days and go, all right, boys, I'm not gonna be here next week. Why? She's pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Paul and I have already been there. So
yeah. 3 times.
I've only been there twice, but that's enough. That's a freaking enough. If I
so get the boy on the first time, Tanner.
If I had a third child, we're gonna have a little test going on.
Well, I think that's a good time to wrap this thing up because we're about to go in a deep rabbit hole, and I don't want to.
So if you're a big fan of the New World Order and the Kicking Out podcast, you can buy yourself a Kicking Out podcast shirt done up like the New World Order logo. All you got to do is head to kickingOutshop.com and you can pick yours up there, along with all sorts of different T-shirts like the ones that Tanner and I have on tonight. You can get a hat like Tanner has. We've got coffee mugs. We've got it all. So head on over to kickingOutshop.com. Support a great podcast. Look great doing so. Be sure to listen to the Kicking Out podcast wherever it is you listen to your podcast. And if that happens to be Apple Podcasts, leave us that 5-star review because we are 5-star KOP. Be sure to follow the Kicking Out podcast on all social media at Kicking Out Pod. Be sure to follow your Kicking Out podcast predictions champion, Tanner Lee, at TannerLee92. Follow Austin Shepard at the Shep27, and be sure to follow myself at Paul Zartman921. And with that, for Tanner Lee and Austin Shepard, I'm Paul Zartman. Join us again next week as we kick out yet another podcast.